So I love these standalone expansions. We've gotten some good expansions this year, but you got to have the game to get that. And I think it was really smart, especially for a shooter that, even though social media and across many video game websites, lots of people are like, you have to play New Order. This game is amazing. Like, I know the last Wolfenstein game before New Order wasn't that great, but like, this is just, this is really incredible. So I think it's such a great opportunity for people to check out Wolfenstein. And to me, with Old Blood, I actually got way more of like a Wolfenstein vibe. Like I mentioned it in my review, like this reminded me a lot of old classic games. We get zombies, which we didn't really get in New Order. You just go straight actually into Castle Wolfenstein. And you're playing it, Brad.
Yeah.
You're checking it out and you finished it up, Mr. Huber. What are your impressions so far, Brad?
I'm having a really good time with it. The beginning was very slow for me. Well, for me, environments are a big deal in gaming for me, and I hate sewers, and I hate prisons. And it's just like boom, 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 and I was like, oh my god.
It is a sewer prison.
Yeah, I was
it's a prison with a sewer running through it.
I was like, this is the worst. But then you get a pipe and he like stabs people in the neck, and that's pretty rad. And when the climb and everything, but then you get to the castle. Castles are my jam for environments. Like Castlevania, Gothic castles are my thing. And you get there, and it was so fun, man. Like the shooting in that game is so good and tight. I'm surprised how well it works on a console with like aiming and everything.
Yeah.
Mr. Huber, you're a big shotgun fan. I love this shotgun. This shotgun's really great. And totally new weapons? Are these all new weapons?
No, just the sawed-off and the grenade launcher.
Yeah, the grenade launcher pistol
thingamajob.
Yeah, and the pipes, obviously. That shotgun was in New Order?
The sniper rifle? And the sniper rifle as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love that shotgun. And obviously, you get two of these things going. It's just like completely ridiculous. So what do you think? I've heard from people actually that it's actually not a prequel. Like, you're not supposed to think that this leads directly into New Order, that it actually is like...
It does, though.
An alternate reality. It definitely does.
100% it does. The end directly says, okay, here's the beginning of the New Order.
Now we're going after Death's Head.
Yeah.
And we don't... I just read that somewhere and I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because they never actually say it. They kind of like throw out that, this is just... it doesn't actually cross over any points from New Order. New Order doesn't go back and reference specifically what happened before, how you got these plans, how you learned where Death's Head was. I think the one thing that, I might be like a broken record about this, but the one thing that was disappointing for me that, like, I guess is way too much to ask of a game that's like 5-6 hours is, the character interactions just blew my mind in New Order. I think that was like the biggest takeaway that I had. I know you mentioned we had a big argument between Wolfenstein and Far Cry for last year's Goaties, and you said you're like, I prefer the shooting in Wolfenstein way more than Far Cry, and playing Far Cry a little bit more, I definitely see what you're saying. But the biggest takeaway was I just fell in love with every single character in New Order, and I liked the villains. I liked specifically Jaeger, the dog owner. He was really great. His moments were really great. His boss fight's really fun. But I felt that there were definitely moments where they wanted me to feel sad, and I was just like, I've only had like one scene with this guy. I really can't feel for him being turned into a zombie or this person being taken out. Did you feel that kind of desperation? Do you think they wanted to break your heart?
Yeah, I felt like there were some missed opportunities here. Mainly the environments, like Brad was saying. Just a lot of sewers and docks and tunnels and caves. So then when I finally got to the city, I was like, okay, here we go. It's going to open up. This is going to be awesome. And you get there and, you go in undercover. And I thought, okay, this is where the story is going to be fleshed out, because the first half is about you alone trying to escape. And I thought going to the bar, I kept thinking, oh, Inglourious Bastard style. Like, I kept having that vibe. And I feel like they could have done so much with those moments that it kind of just, it felt a little hollow. It felt a little hollow, probably because they were restricted by the length. But yeah, there wasn't as much emotion, obviously, as in the main game.
So I guess that's the question. You release a game, and then you decide to do a prequel story for your expansion content, whether it's a standalone thing or whether it's actually like tacked onto the game. And I think you either do something that's totally fun, or you do something that kind of like Evil Within, that reveals things that you didn't know about the story. This doesn't really reveal anything, so I wish maybe they've gone a little more in like the fun direction.
Yeah, because you could tell that vibe was there even with the trailer, that It was just out of control. All right, we're down to business. There's not a lot of character interaction. Just go nuts. And it never really felt nuts. It definitely felt like just a slice of the main game. So I wish they had gone a little more bananas.
And how many times did BJ look up and something fall on his face? There's like 20 billion sequences in the game where like he's just like gets knocked on the floor, falls out of a cable car, or something happens and looks up and oh no, and then like goes.
Like you were saying earlier though about expansions. This is what I love. I love when games do this. Games need to do it more. It's a meaningful beginning to the main game. It doesn't alienate anyone who hasn't played the New Order. It's such a great entry point for anybody. Like, if you haven't played New Order, this is such a good way to play Wolfenstein. If you're interested, then you can go buy the main game. It's just a natural progression.
And it makes sense if you spent so much time, you go to the point of like going through a whole casting process to like get the right actor to play Blazkowicz, and then you do all of this art direction to try to figure out exactly what style you want to do, and then the project's done, and you're thinking, let's do something else, and not do something immediately after with the same characters, but maybe introduce something new. And that was like the issue that Square had with the Fabula Nova Crystallis series. They did Final Fantasy 13, and they're like, we put so much work into this. Then like we really want to continue with these characters, and so we got these just totally two random weird sequels.
Square Enix.
So that's not what you should do.
Yeah, don't do that.
But having a standalone expansion, why do you think it's standalone? Like, why do you think would you have preferred if Consequence and what was the other one? Assignment. They weren't like two random parts, but they maybe put both of those together and had that standalone. Would you have preferred that?
I think. It's like in the digital age now, it makes no sense to have expansions, Make everything standalone. There's no reason for Assignment or Consequence to be added on to the Evil Within. Like, if anyone doesn't want to play the Evil Within, but they want to give this little separate side story a shot, they should be able to. It's just more access and more options to the consumer.
I agree. So I just think the reason they probably do with like Evil Within is because if you played the Assignment and what was Consequence, if you played that without playing the Evil Within, you'd be like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
But you can hop into Wolfenstein and just have a good time regardless.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think if you would have played the Assignment before you played Evil Within, do you think you would have been completely confused? They do kind of set that up. I mean, they throw a couple characters at you that you might not be familiar with.
It just wouldn't make as much sense to me.
You'd have some questions, but I think that's the nature of Evil Within.
Yeah, sure.
But it just comes down to give people more options. Like, we don't need to be restricted to this 1990s style PC expansion pack thing. I mean, Blizzard is coming out with Legacy of the Void, which for all intents and purposes is an expansion, should be an expansion, standalone. Like, everything should be standalone now.
So you dug this. You think it's worth the price of admission?
Absolutely.
Wolfenstein Old Blood.
Yes.
You like the duration. You liked the enough action. Like I felt it maybe could have been a little bit different. Like I said, like because it's such a small chapter, I maybe would have liked one just weird weapon. Especially because you're getting into the supernatural. It would have been nice if you got like some staff that like automatically turned things into zombies or made zombies explode or lit them on fire or something.
Yeah, a couple complaints with some of the environments, but all in all, excellent pickup, and especially right before The Witcher, it was just a nice little...
Clean your palate.
Yeah, you only got a couple days, everybody, if you want to check this out before Witcher comes.
Yeah, you're just going in,
then
guns
clear
blazing.
your summer, it's over.
Yeah.
And you're definitely gonna stick
I'm
with
having
it.
a good time with it. Can't wait to... I'm looking forward to finishing it.
Danke,
Bam.
Michael Huber.
Guten Tag.